Nick Bosa is back. It took long enough. The 49ers have signed him. He's been extended. He will remain in a 49ers uniform. He will be playing on Sunday. And it feels like such a relief. Why? Because we really haven't been able to talk about football much. It went from all the Trey Lance talk. He was traded into, well, will Nick Bosa play? Will he hold out into the season? What's going to happen to Nick Bosa? The drama is over, and we can actually focus on football because the season is starting tomorrow night, less than 24 hours. We have football at Arrowhead. The Chiefs hosting the Lions, and they have their contract issue with Chris Jones. Maybe that gets resolved even before this recording is posted. But we're concerned about the 49ers, and I'm so glad that Nick Bosa is back. Cornerstone player for the franchise. One of the great draft picks they've ever had. And it is Nick Bosa. How many times, seriously, has he been called Joey Bosa on one of the telecasts in various broadcasts? Too many times. And this comes from someone who's constantly called his brother's name, too. Not that you don't respect your brother, but you can get the name right. It's Nick Bosa. And, normally I would take offense at the 49ers giving out one of their great players' numbers. Bryant Young. Bryant Young was the best player on the 49ers defense when I grew up. He's a Hall of Famer, great career. I am perfectly fine with Nick Bosa wearing 97 because he's worthy of it. He is, as long as he stays healthy, he'll end up in the Hall of Fame himself. I mean, look at the resume. First year in 19, Defensive Rookie of the Year, Pro Bowler. I think he was much better than his numbers would even indicate. Second year, we lost him because of the ACL, but third year, he came back even better and stronger. Great season. Pro Bowler again. And then last season, Defensive Player of the Year. Pro Bowl. All-Pro. So, such a great player. He was, the moment when he got on the field, he was one of the best defensive players in football. Game one of his rookie season. He didn't play any preseason. He just went out there and produced. And if you can talk about anyone who's made such an impact on the 49ers as a rookie on the defensive side of the ball since I've been watching. And Willis's 2007 season was remarkable. It was just so impressive on so many levels. I mean, they were a bad team, but he was a complete linebacker. With all due respect to Willis, and he should be in a Hall of Fame, Nick Bosa's been better. And that's saying a lot. Huge Patrick Willis fan. Nick Bosa is better than Patrick Willis. And the step he took last season was he became a closer. That's what I think I could say that made last year 22 even better than 21. How many times did he just take over games and end games with a game-ending sack? With all due respect to some of the other pass rushers in the game, such as Myles Garrett, he's better. And sometimes it's hard to compare different defenders to different defenders. You can't compare Nick Bosa to Aaron Donald. You can't compare Nick Bosa to Micah Parsons. It is like apples and oranges. Speed versus strength. Oh, he can be explosive, but he's known for his strength, the use of his hands, hand placement, being a technician, as the analysts like to say. But what condition he is. He's on tip-top shape. I mean, completely chiseled all over. I mean, I would joke his thighs are probably the size of my chest. So you feel good investing in a player like that long term and saying, I want this guy on my team for his entire career. And you hope it's a long career. You hope it's a healthy career. But he is more responsible for the 49ers' success in the 3 championship seasons. When I say championship, I mean conference championship seasons, than anyone else. I mean, the team changed when Nick Bosa came here. They became a good defense, a great defense, because of him. And they've been known for their identity as being a defensive team because of Nick Bosa. That's why. He elevates the rest of the defense. He makes those around him better. He commands the double teams. And I even say I think he's better than his statistics would say. He led the league with quarterback hits by a large margin last year. He missed even a game and a half due to an injury. Still won Defensive Player of the Year. And there are some great defenders in the league. There are. And you can pick whoever you want, and sure, it depends on health. We can start with Aaron Donald. He had injuries last year. That was his problem. But when healthy, wow. TJ Watt, Micah Parsons, Nick Bosa. I think you're looking at your 4 best defenders, and if I have to pick a 5th, well, I either go with Myles Garrett or Chris Jones. But he is the reason why they went from being nothing to all of a sudden one of the best teams in the NFC, and they have been the best team in the NFC. If you're looking at just those 3 years, over those 3 seasons, while they haven't gone all the way, they haven't gone the distance, they're the only team that's made it to at least 3 championship games in the last 4 years. They made it to a Super Bowl. And surprisingly, Bosa got a hard time for not playing particularly well and sort of fading and running out of gas last year in the playoffs. And, in all fairness, I think he did. But who got them there? Who put them on their shoulders? It was him on the defensive side of the ball. I don't think the defensive line was that great last year. I don't. It was good, but it wasn't great. I mean, name me the great edge rusher on the other side of him. I mean, who was it? There was no other great defensive end on the roster. There are good players, but look at this line now. It's going to be playing next to Hargrave. There's going to be Eric Armstead, and we'll see how good Drake Jackson ends up being. We'll see. But this has the potential to be a great defensive line. They need to get him back because there wasn't much depth. Not much depth, but getting back to the playoffs for a moment was, he didn't have a great playoffs last year, but how quickly people forget. Remember those 2 seasons, the 19 and 21 season? In 3 games in his rookie season in the playoffs, he registered 4 sacks and a forced fumble in the Super Bowl. And then in 21, in 3 games, 4 sacks. He has 8 playoff sacks. I mean, what else do you want? Sometimes you can never do enough for people. As far as I'm concerned, Nick Bosa was worth every penny of his contract. And if I'm just taking 3 seasons and isolating 3 seasons of any 49ers career that I've watched, I'd put him up against anyone that I've seen for just 3 seasons. In fairness, I saw Steve Young and Jerry Rice at the end of their careers with the 49ers. But what great seasons he's put together those 3 years. And the question is, can he get even better? He may be able to even get better. Can he win another Defensive Player of the Year? You could say it's sort of like title defense. But I'm just excited to get into football, win this first week in Pittsburgh, get home field advantage, and you want to end the season in Las Vegas holding up the Lombardi Trophy. But you got to get off to a fast start, and you need Nick Bosa in that first game.